to launch the first certification of a digital watch, which in that case was Hublot, as we identify at that time that digital watches were important and they need certification. Otherwise, those watches could be counterfeiting. And as you know, the market of counterfeiting is very big. Mr. Biver has later continued working on this technology. He also developed the first connected watch with Tag Heuer, with a cooperation Google and Intel. And now I have the honor to be able to launch with him a Wolfers on a very, very iconic watch that he's going to introduce to us. And this is being today the first time where the watch industry could be dematerializing and creating digital twins for their watches and let those watches to live on the internet, on the blockchain for eternal life. So I give the floor now to Mr. Biver. Thank you very much, Jean-Claude, for joining us today. It is a very special day. And my first question to you is, what is the value of this? Give me the history of this watch, this very special watch, and why you think this watch represents really the truly spirit of the materialization.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Yes, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This watch is called Bigger Bang All Black Tourbillon. It's a watch that was developed first in 2005 and 2006. And this is the special piece, the first kind of prototype, but it's a working watch. And I have been wearing it since 2006 during all my career. And the watch has brought me a lot of success and a lot of good luck. And you know, the main value of a Swiss luxury watch is not that the watch tells you what time it is. That's not the most important. The most important are two elements. The first element, it's the soul that is inside the watch, because every watch that is made by hand, by fingers, leaves traces of love, traces of perfection, traces of exclusivity, traces of tradition, traces of heritage. And these values, when they are in the box, in the watch, they never disappear. And a Swiss high quality luxury watch is due to become eternal. I say to my watchmakers, hey guys, you are making eternity with your fingers. Like art, art is eternal. The art of Picasso is still there. The art of Mozart is still there. Even the art of the Beatles have not disappeared. You know, the famous song, All You Need Is Love, and it's still very actual. So that is the real value of the watch, is what is the inside. It's the invisible part that is more important than the visible part. And that's why people are ready to buy such a watch. Number one, because it will go into the eternity. And number two, it has a soul. It brings you something. And this watch has never left my wrist since 2006. And all what I have done, I must say thank you to my watch. And today, with the new technology, we are now able to replicate the watch on the virtual side. And the digitalization of this watch and the blockchain will make the digital part also eternal, even more eternal, in the sense when I'm skiing with my watch, I could lose it. But on your computer, on the virtual watch, you can never lose it. So there's nothing better than having eternity in 3 dimensions and having eternity on the virtual side. That's why I'm so excited about this new technology that Carlos is offering us. And I think it's perfect match, not only for watches, but in general for art. We are now entering with this new technology, we are entering into the new century. That's really the enter of the 21st century of the digitalization. And imagine in 50, in 100 years, this will have an incredible value, because art is not only on your wrist, art is not only hanging on your apartment, on the walls. Art is also digital, and that is a new step that we have to be used to. We have to understand it, and once we understand it, we can give a value to it. And I am extremely excited, and today I have become richer because I have eternity on my wrist, and I can have eternity on my digital instruments.
Totally, fully agree. And what you say is very important, because people sometimes don't understand this NFT technology and they get confused about what really NFT is. And your analogy of the physical object and the soul of that object, that is unique, because as you say, every single watch transfers different emotions, different history, different traditions. They are watches that they have hundreds of years old. And now being able to extract that soul of the watch and create a non-fungible token and put that non-fungible token on the blockchain opens a totally new dimension where people can now trace that life of that digital object eternally, as you say, but also value that, because the digital asset that you are creating has, in some cases, and we have seen that in the latest NFT on art, and the last week was the New York Times, and they did an NFT on an article, and the founder of Twitter did an NFT on a tweet. So that means that new things that before were impossible to monetize now can be monetized. So I would like to ask you questions also about the industry itself, the watch industry. We know that the watch industry has suffered in the last year, the COVID situation. Do you see this new technology as a possibility for the watch industry to reinvent themselves, and also for private collections? You know, a lot of people like yourself, and they have a very large collection of watches that they are sitting in their houses or in their vaults in the bank. This is a new opportunity for them to share that with that emotion, right, with the international audience. What is your views on that, Jean-Claude?
I think, you know, I'm also a big collector of vintage watches, and I just think we have opened a new window with the NFT. We have opened a new window, and you cannot, like as you said, many of those vintage watches are usually in a safe, because they are high value, and you must be careful. You cannot necessarily ski or swim with it. So many people, like myself, we have it in a vault, in a safe, at home or in the bank. And to have it now also on your computer, that gives you an additional pleasure, it's an additional asset. And I would, if I have, I don't know, I have maybe a few, I have quite a big collection of watches. I don't want to reveal the whole number, but if I could get a digital certificate, if I could have of each watch that I have in 3 dimensions, ideally, I would like to buy for each one the digital watch. If you have the digital and the 3D, you have everything. You are ready for eternity. And that, it's a real asset. It has a value. It has a real commercial value. It's not just the value for collector. It's a commercial value. It makes sense. But in order to understand the sense of it, you must understand a little bit what is the digitalization? Where are we going? Where will we be in 50 years, in 100 years? And that, I find it so exciting to work with a projection in 50 or 100 years. Some people are exciting to repeat the past. Repeating the past, playing the music of Mozart, why not? Respect. But goddamn, you don't create when you repeat. Creating means I go to the future I discover new worlds. I discover new concepts. I discover new philosophy. I discover new digitalization. And in that sense, what we are doing today is really a world first, but a world first that will have wings, that is making sense, and that people would like to get. So we are really on the start of something absolutely great.
Absolutely. And another dimension that you and I, we launched it in 2010 in Baselworld, is that, as you know, this industry is highly counterfeited, right? I mean, we are talking about millions and millions of watches being counterfeited. The money goes to mafias around the world, and they use the money for all kind of social problems, right? This is the bank account, as I say, of the mafia, which is $1 trillion, the international illicit trade, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And this technology not only creates the digital twin of the watch, the NFT, but also protects the identity of the watch. The watch itself has its own identity. It's impossible to counterfeit. So that brings another dimension to companies that they produce watches or art, because one of the major issues has been, specifically in art, is what you call the provenance. The provenance of art has been, huge scandals in the last years of very expensive art being counterfeited and being sold to very rich people, and then they pay tens of millions for that art, and that art then proved to be a fake art. So the provenance of an object, if it's both at the object and then on the NFT, is a perfect combination on both. One question I would like to ask you about this particular watch. The idea, and we're going to do it on site, so everybody in the world will see how we create an NFT. We're going to do it during this event. So it's going to be a world first, but not only of it's describing, also not doing it. So we're going to be sharing with the audience how you create the watch NFT and how you publish that NFT in a trading platform. What is your view of the usage of the funds of those watch? I know that you have made some instructions that this to go to a foundation. Maybe you can develop a bit further, because I'm sure among the participants we might have already potential buyers of the NFT. What is your views on how and what is the need of this funding? Where is
yes, my view is that 100% of what we might get for the digital watch, 100% I would like to donate to Melinda and her foundation, together with they have together a foundation about water, and I'm shocked that every second a child is dying because of no clean water. Yes. And that is for me a drama, and somehow I would like to donate 100% of what we could get on this auction to the foundation.
Which I think is an amazing news as well, because not only you are generous in creating this NFT or a very exclusive product, which is owned by you, but also that the monetization of that is going to go to a foundation. I mean, this could create a new model for people that they have very expensive assets to do NFT. So the money collected from the NFT could go to finance those needs, like the one you just described, or the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. I mean, there's trillions of dollars of dead asset located in art and in watches that people are not able to monetize, and now it is a new way. So this could also be disruptive for the humanitarian and all this sector of donating into causes, right?
Yes, I think we have as a company, and especially also in luxury, we have a responsibility, and yes, the responsibility of what the most simple one, the responsibility to share. Sharing is an act of love. Sharing makes you rich, by the way. It does not only make rich the one with whom you share. It, for the Melinda Gates Foundation will help, of course, kids to get clean water. But it does not only help the kids. it helps also somehow me. It makes me rich that I know that I can give, I can donate. So the sharing process is one of the most beautiful acts you can have on planet Earth, because it makes both parties rich, the one who gets it and the one who donates it. And in that sense, I am a strong believer in sharing. We have to start now in the 21st century, not only to look for ourselves, but it's time to look around ourselves. And we are living, in fact, in an ecosystem. And for instance, if we want healthy people, we need healthy plants, we need healthy animals, and we need finally healthy planet. That's the only way to have healthy people, because we all belong to one ecosystem. And in that sense, I am very pleased that we can donate to Melinda Gates this the result of the auction.
Very, very, very generous and very clear. And another thing I would like to ask you, because I thought that this is an amazing news for the person that they will acquire the NFT of the watch, is that you mentioned to me that this watch in particular was the etalon we discussed about of all the other watches, right? So maybe you can develop that a bit further.
Yes, in fact, it was a prototype, and the prototype came out in the end of 2005, and we made the prototype that was perfect, could perfectly work. So it was the last. Very often we make 5, 6, 8 prototypes, and the last one is the one that that is the closest to the process of the series that will come later. So that watch is the last one that was a prototype. The next one was a watch that we were selling. This watch we didn't sell. That's why it's written on the back, special series, a special piece. And I bought it from Hublot, from the company, in 2005, and I kept it like a reference. Every watch that was produced since then had a similar look and was 100% inspired by that watch. So that is the real reference. It's like in Paris, if you want to know where's the reference of 1 meter or 1 kilogram, there is in Paris a museum where you have 1 kilo in platinum and 1 meter in platinum. And that's the reference of the measure, the weight and the length. And in that, and the same here for the watch. The watch is the etalon, it's the reference. Every watch, you can check, every watch that came out after end of 2005 had a familiar look, looked like those ones. That's the papa and the mama of Hublot. Even today, every watch looks like that one.
Absolutely amazing. This is an amazing story, which reinforces even further the value of the NFT of this watch, because that will be inherited into the digital twin of the watch. And you are not only a visionary in the traditional watch industry, you also developed the first connected luxury watch, right? And this is still a major blockbuster with TAG Heuer when you developed the connected watch with Google. Can you maybe just explain a bit what was in your mind in order to move there? Because that was actually a competition, right, to Apple Watch and many of the Seiko and Samsung watches at that time, right?
Yes, when Apple came out with the first connected watch, that was spectacular. I thought we cannot let TAG Heuer without trying at least this new technology. You know the name TAG Heuer. There is TAG, TAG, and Heuer. TAG means technique avant-garde. And I said, we cannot, in our name, we have technique avant-garde. We cannot be, like our name tells you, technique avant-garde, without doing a connected watch. But as we don't have Silicon Valley in Switzerland, we don't have this type of technology, We went to Intel for the chips and for the screen. They helped us to on the technical side, and we went to Google for Android, for the language. And so Google and Intel came together with us, and we developed the first Swiss connected watch under the name Tag Heuer. We made 100,000 pieces, which is a lot for handmade watches, but it's peanuts for connected watch. But nevertheless, we said, we are an exclusive brand. We are a very selective brand. We cannot kill our exclusivity. Whatever it costs, we will only make 100,000 pieces, which we did in 2015. It was a huge success. It was sold in a few weeks, and that's it. And then came generation 2, generation 3, and I think now generation 4. So we are still doing connected watches, but in the scale of our exclusivity. You know, when you are an exclusive brand, you cannot produce millions and millions because you are going to lose your exclusivity. It doesn't mean you lose your quality, but you lose somehow exclusivity. Exclusivity doesn't fit with millions, it fits with thousands, and that's it. So that was the story with Tag Heuer, and I was very pleased because it helped me to enter the world of Silicon Valley. I met the people from Google, the people from, also we had discussions with Qualcomm, and that helped me a little bit to enter also in the digital world. And maybe that's the reason why I immediately, Carlos, when you told me about the NFT, I immediately connected and said, wow, that here we must be again, because I have a rule in my business, always try to be first, different, unique. Always try to be first, different, unique. And today, Hublot is again in the digitalization, first, different, and unique.
And that's why I admire you, because you're, from my experience, the only visionary that can blend this physical and virtual world, digital world. You have it very clear in your mind. And this is a very powerful lesson for us, this digital generation that we live on the internet, to see there is a bridge between, because you have to create those bridges. Otherwise, you create different worlds. So on that, and for the audience to understand what is going to happen now, we are going to create the non-fungible token of this very exclusive watch. And from the moment we do that, this NFT, this digital twin, will live on the internet. So I'll ask my team to share the screen to the creation ceremony. So this is like an official ceremony. This is like getting married, what we are doing here. The moment we do that, and after we do that, there is no way back. You cannot delete this watch from the blockchain, and this will live eternally. So we are using here a OpenSea. OpenSea is an NFT marketplace. It's like Amazon of NFT. This is where you go and do your NFTs. Inside OpenSea, we have created a trusted area, which is a WISeKey digitally authenticated and entrusted area. This area, it's only being used for objects that they have been authenticated at the origin. So the model here is that if you have an asset, which can be the watch or art, that asset will have a digital identity, which will be stored into a microchip. That microchip can go inside the object or through a smart card. And for that moment, you will be able to establish what it is here, the NFT of the object. So here you have the picture that corresponds to the watch that Mr. Beaver is putting in auction through the NFT. If you go down here, you have the description, so you can see the history of the watch. This watch will be the first luxury watch to have a digital life with certified ownership and authenticity, while Mr. Beaver keeps the ownership of the original, because the original cannot be sold. The original, as he explained, was the genesis of many other watches. So this is a piece of museum, but he's in agreement to convert his digital twin and auction the digital twin as an authentic double of the physical watch in the digital space. So what we are going to do now is going to the creation process. So we're going to go and sell. So here we are establishing now the sale process. In the sale process, we can, this can be one go sale or highest bid, which is what we are doing here, right? This is going to be the highest bid on the auction. And we're going to say that this is going to start, the minimum bid is going to be 1 Ether, as we need to use cryptocurrencies. And we're going to put a reserve price, especially knowing that this goes for a foundation. So we want to raise obviously as much as possible, because as Mr. Beaver explained, the causes of this foundation are very, very urgent. The world needs immediate solution in provide accessibility of water to disadvantaged areas, and they are starving because water is not available. So we're going to put a reserve price of 100 Ethers here. And we're going to put an expiration date. We calculated because we have Easter period in the middle. So we are putting the 5th of April. So 5th of April will be the day when we'll disclose what this auction has happened. And we are going to go now and we do the posting. So we are registering this in the blockchain. So this is a registration process into the blockchain. As you know, the blockchain is a decentralized structure where all the ledgers of the blockchain in the world will have a copy of the digital identity that is being generated now. So we are generating the identity with a digital signature, and that process will make what Mr. Beaver say, the digital twin of the soul, of the digital soul of the watch, that will be replicated worldwide in millions of servers around the world as more blockchain servers as being installed and decentralized through ledger, more representation you will have. And people can verify anywhere in the world that this NFT corresponds to that watch. So the person or institution or charity or organization that will buy the NFT of this specific watch will be able to prove that he owns or she owns or it owns the digital twin of the watch in an irrevocable way. So that's a proof of evidence, and that's why this technology is so powerful, because it cannot be repudiated. Somebody can say, no, this is actually not the non-fungible token of the watch, this is something else. So just going through the process of activation. Now we're gonna open a wallet. Okay, and now here is it, right? So it's being activated, sales end in 6 days. Minimum bid is one Ether, which is equivalent to $1,800. And as we say before, the pricing will be 100 Ether, which will be around $183,000. And it could be much more, obviously, but this exercise is done, and from there, anyone with the link, this link, by the way, is available into a WISeKey website, and is also going to be communicated tomorrow with this video through the press. Anyone with that link, they can go and just participate into the bid. So today, world first time ever, a watch has its NFT on the blockchain. So thank you very much for the team for this. We go back again to the presentation. So it's done.
Fantastic.
It's done. It is done. It went perfect, and it's on the site. And now this link, it can be broadcast internationally. Anyone that wants to participate, and anyone that wants to aggregate, it can go. I just want to let you know that, as you all know, that last 2 weeks ago, a very digital painting auctioned by Christie's reached something like $75 million equivalent dollars. So the sky is the limit with this technology. So just as a conclusion, first of all, I would like to thank you, Jean-Claude, for again your vision and make this watch so fast. I mean, I called you. That was 4 days ago, right? So, and it was a weekend in the middle. So we managed to put that together in less than 4 days. Now it's on. I like to get you back in the future so we can further document this process, because I think this is only the beginning. But again, your leadership and your vision has inspired so many people, including myself. And I think, as you say, well, that the digital twin of the physical watches needs to live on the internet. And you are the first one. Hope there is going to be many more in the future.
I hope so too. Fantastic. 30th of March, I will remember. What a date.
What a day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jean-Claude. God bless you, and let's be in contact. Thank you for the audience on this. If you go to WISeKey website, you will have a link there, and there you go directly to the auction of the watch. And you can follow us in social media. All this is going to be already broadcast in social media. It's a lot of information. Mr. Viver is a public figure, so anytime we do anything with him, you have hundreds of newspaper and TV shows and press and covers. So I'm sure we're going to be replicating news for the next days to come. And we will give you information back once we close the auction on how that went. So thank you very much, the audience. Thank you very much, Jean-Claude. God bless you, and see you soon.